Hey everybody, welcome to a special Halloween edition of Grizzled VD. I am your host, Vic Delicious. Welcome to the show. I do appreciate everybody checking us out. You know, today is going to be a little bit of a different version of the podcast. For the last few episodes and everything like that, I have been kind of reviewing the current product. But and this came as a suggestion from one of our House of Hardcore students, Chris Mira, CJ Mira, is the kind of the reason why we all watch professional wrestling. And, I think that it's a really basic idea and a really basic question to kind of start this out with, but I feel that I have to kind of give my view on this topic if everybody's going to keep listening to me. The only way that I can do that is to just tell you guys how I see it and what's always been taught to me in professional wrestling. So it's easiest for me just to come into this format and just talk. Why are you a fan of professional wrestling? What is it about it? What constitutes a good match? Why do you feel the way that you do at the end of a professional wrestling match, good or bad? All of those things are some of the hot points that I want to discuss today. Professional wrestling and why. So, I have been doing this for 18 years. I started in professional wrestling in 2001. I was trained at the World of Hurt Wrestling School in Schenectady, New York. I attended numerous camps during that time with Dr. Tom Pritchard, and I had my very first WWE match in January of 2003. Later on in 2003, I attended the first Ohio Valley Wrestling tryout camp, and I was accepted into the team, and I was, brought to Ohio Valley Wrestling. I moved there on my own dime and was training to earn a contract with WWE. My head trainer was Rip Rogers, and then throughout that time, we also had Al Snow, Lance Storm, Bill DeMott, Jim Cornette, Danny Davis, that were coming through there. Also in my training, before that I went to the Dory Funk Jr. School down in Florida. I spent a week down there with him during one of those camps. I wrestled Adam Windsor and Osamu Nishimura, for everybody who knows who that is. And my very first WWE match was against Sean O'Hare. And my time in Ohio Valley Wrestling, I wrestled as Rob Begley. I wrestled part of a tag team called the Island Boys. I also wrestled as Vic Delicious, and part of my degree, my bachelor's degree from college, I had transferred schools down to Louisville, Kentucky, and my final project was to develop and debut a character on television. And I worked hand in hand with Jim Cornette to do that. He was the reason that I graduated college. He actually signed off on my paperwork. And then from there, I left Ohio Valley Wrestling in 2005, formed the tag team The Now, and then traveled across the United States with my very best friend, Hale Collins, to be a part of the tag team The Now. We were brought to SmackDown, we were brought to Impact, we wrestled the best of the best for the last, better part of almost 15 years now. So I kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about here. I've been in matches with the people that you have always watched on television. I have been in those positions. I have been taught by the best, and I'm going to just try to put some of that out there for you guys so that you can understand where I'm coming from. I don't want to tell you guys how the sausage is made. That's a big thing to me. But I also feel that professional wrestling has moved past the point of this secret society and kayfabe that we used to live in. I can remember a time in professional wrestling where if I took a picture of, let's say, for example, the truck behind WWE, the production truck, or those big trucks that they have where you see all these people always posting pictures of them. If I had ever taken a picture like that and posted it on social media, I would have been blackballed forever out of professional wrestling. I know guys that would be excited that they got an extra opportunity and would post on social media in the early days of social media that they were booked to be at Raw or SmackDown, and they would lose that opportunity just because they talked about it. So we're dealing with a company in that respect that protected all of these kinds of things. And with the content creation that has really taken over in 2019, people are struggling to come up with ideas and reasons to have people listen to them and for things for them to talk about. There's tons of review shows out there. There's tons of recap shows and all that stuff. But, and CJ, my student, brought this to my attention, and it's a really good point, because I used to do that with my students at House of Hardcore all the time, was to watch their matches, break their matches down, and explain the things that were going on in their matches and what was good and what was bad. That's what wrestling students pay to go to wrestling schools for. That's why they, choose their trainers and how wisely. So I had developed a rapport with Tommy Dreamer all the way back to my Ohio Valley Wrestling days, because Tommy was in charge of the developmental system towards the end of my time in Ohio Valley Wrestling. And we stayed in touch all the way through that time, which led to the creation of House of Hardcore, the school, the promotion, all the things that you saw from there. Excuse me. I don't want to tell you how the sausage is made, but I kind of want to clue everybody in. And I don't want to just say I'm going to smarten you up and all of the other stupid shit that everybody says. But I am going to explain to you what happens here when you're putting together a professional wrestling match. And it was really explained to me very well one time when I was really struggling with moving to the next step in my career, moving to another advanced stage in professional wrestling. And it was Al Snow had said to me, "What is it that you want people to remember about this match at the end?" And that was what he was teaching us to think of before we ever had any kind of discussion about what we were going to put together in our match. It was, what would be the story that you want to get out of this match? So every single professional wrestling match needs to, it's not optional, needs to have some kind of a basic story to it. Now, in a time of professional wrestling where guys are being put on television and there are no backstories, it's just two guys versus two guys, there needs to be a reason why I'm continuing to watch this match. Why are they angry at each other? Professional wrestling used to have the basic concept of, we're all trying to get to the pay window. The winner gets the winner's share of the purse. Gorilla Monsoon used to tell us that all the time. And that's a pretty basic understanding. Everyone can understand money and getting more of it. And competing against another person in a physical test of wills and strength, the winner receives more money. That's a pretty simple concept to understand. And I feel like that might be lost even just a little bit with all of the professional wrestlers who I am playing a character. I am this name. You know me on TV as this. The professional wrestling business has always drawn money because we've been able to suck people in emotionally to the stories that we are telling. Every single match needs to tell a story. And that story can be huge, like a divorce angle story with Bobby Lashley and Rusev. That story has many facets to it, many pieces to that story. We know why they're fighting. But when it's just two guys that are going out there to wrestle, we need to have one guy who sticks to the rules and doesn't cheat. And then we need to have another guy who, if he sees the chance to take a shortcut, he's going to do it. And that gives you your good guy and that gives you your bad guy. Matches are paced in such a way that they don't have to tell the same story, but the basic idea of a professional wrestling match from the beginning is that the good guy goes out there, out wrestles the bad guy. So he does all kinds of flashy moves. You may have seen where, for example, a guy gets in, does all of his big moves, and every time a bad guy tries to do something, he gets reversed down to the ground real fast or reversed, and the good guy always comes out on top. Usually ends up with a big drop kick, guy goes to the outside, or a clothesline over the top to the outside, or something like that, where the good guy can now stand in the ring, turn to the camera, pose, fire up. Yeah, let's go, good guy. He's going to kick this bad guy's butt. And just when he has all that confidence, he goes over to the ropes, sticks his head through the ropes, and while the referee is trying to pull him back and has his back to the ropes, the bad guy reaches up and thumbs him in the eye. If anybody's ever played basketball in their backyard, you ever been poked in the eye by somebody? It hurts. It sucks. It's also cheating if they do it on purpose. The good guy's blinded for a second. Bad guy slides right in, starts beating on the good guy. Now, we have something called heat. We hate that bad guy because he just took away the surefire victory that good guy was going to have because he cheated. Okay? Now we proceed to have a few minutes of the bad guy doing his thing. He's got some cool moves. Doesn't always need to do them. Sometimes cool moves make you cheer for a guy. But he does stuff to make you really want to boo him. Where he'll put his knee across his throat while he's arguing with the referee, or unnecessarily pull a guy up by his hair, or take the entire 5 seconds just to break a hold. That is getting heat. Now, traditionally in professional wrestling matches, you'll see all of these moves, you'll see all that stuff, and then the bad guy will grab onto a move that allows everybody to focus in on the center of the ring and start to cheer for their hero to overcome the dastardly acts of that bad guy. The good guy will fire up and fire up and fire up, and the bad guy is going to cheat again and cut him down. So now the fans know, if we just get behind this guy, he hears us cheering for him just a little bit louder, a little bit harder, he's going to kick that guy's ass. So the fans cheer. They root for him. Go, 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 go. And the good guy gets up. Good guy gets up. Bad guy tries to cut him down again. He blocks it. Fires back. Now he hits one move. 2 moves. Maybe he hits a bigger move. Now the bad guy falls on his butt. Takes a bump. Good guy's up to his feet. Now the good guy's made it all the way back to his feet, standing straight up. The heel's charging at him. He's bumping all over the place. Move, 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 move. The good guy goes to the top rope. Hits a big flying crossbody. 1, 2. Kick out by the bad guy. Oh, what are we going to do here? What are we going to do? The good guy, he's going to try and take it up a notch. He's going to try and go for something bigger. Goes for another big move. The bad guy rolls out of the way. Misses. Oh, our hero. Our hero. He tried to take a chance, and it didn't pay off. He misses. No water in the pool. The bad guy sets up for his big move. Setting up for his big finish. He's coming in for the move. Grabs a hold of the good guy. Pulls him up. Pulls him up from the ground. The bad guy snatches him. Or the good guy snatches him, rolls him up. 1, 2, 3. Win out of nowhere. The place go banana. Everybody's cheering. Good guy slides out of the ring. The heel sitting on his butt wondering what just happened. He snatched defeat out of the jaws of victory. And we have a winner. You're a good guy. Okay, that's your basic wrestling match, guys. That's how it starts. And then from there, you see all the iterations of professional wrestling that we have out there. And we do... there's different false finishes and there's different maneuvers that are added into the equation that I just laid out there for you that spice up professional wrestling. But at the end of the contest, there needs to be some sort of feeling that's evoked from you that makes you want to continue to watch and continue to see that story play out. A lot of times in professional wrestling in 2019, we're not necessarily focused on that story. A lot of times we're very focused on the moves, and we're very focused on the reaction from the crowd, the oh, 1, 2, oh. Okay, when nothing can beat you, it changes the story that fans have been programmed to understand. Okay, and when you're not selling, and when you're not registering moves, and you're just going from one to the next as if nothing hurts, that the mat is padded, it's where you start losing people. Now, the question I beg for all of you out there is, what makes some of these matches that you see so awesome? When you're sitting in the crowd and you're chanting, "This is wrestling, this is awesome, fight forever," why are you cheering that? Because you're impressed with the back and forth? Are you impressed with the athleticism? Or are you impressed with the professional wrestling contest that you see in front of you? It's a question that everybody should be asking themselves when they're watching professional wrestling, and some are doing it better than the others. But to assume that every bit of professional wrestling tells the same story is not the case. And every bit of professional wrestling has that basic premise of the winner gets paid more money than the loser. You want to be the champion because you make more money. Why do you want to be at the top of the profession that you're in? Because you make more money. So, professional wrestling and why is more important than any other aspect here. In order for us to understand how to make this wrestling thing the most interesting for everybody across the board, is you need to have a story with what you're doing. And a story could be just as simple as a guy comes through the curtain and he has some tape on his elbow. You can clearly tell that guy's elbow is hurt. Maybe when he locks up, he's got to push away real fast because his elbow hurts. Now everybody knows that guy's elbow is in trouble. So when the bad guy starts to go after that guy's elbow, oh man, what a dick. He knows his elbow's hurt, but he's still going to do it anyway. Wants that money so bad. Ugh. What's worse than a money-grubbing guy who'll take anything to get it? We're losing a lot of that in professional wrestling. And as guys are developing and creating their characters, they need to really have a focus on that particular aspect of professional wrestling. Why am I having this match? And does it make sense? What story am I telling? Where am I going with this product? What do I want fans to think of at the end of this? Because you want them to buy into you. You want them to remember you when they get in their car and they go home. You want to be the one that they talk about when they're in their car and they're saying, yeah, but do you remember that guy's match? That was something. Professional wrestling fans in 2019, what is it that makes you chant what you do? What makes you chant, this is awesome, fight forever? Because I've been involved in some of these professional wrestling matches where I can honestly tell you, I would not want to be fighting forever. If you're appropriately registering and selling everything that's happening in professional wrestling contest, then 1,000 moves at the end of a match don't mean anything. Because if I get punched in the face one time, okay? If you punch me in the face one time and I fall to my back, grab my face, scurry over to the corner, put my head under the ropes, and you see me fixing my jaw, I just made your punch look awesome. And everybody now knows if you hit me with another one of those punches, I could be out. I've created your punch, and I'm protecting it all through my selling. But if you're just punch, 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 shoot off, duck one, take one, that shit doesn't make sense, guys. You need your moves and everything to be respected, sold, and registered for everybody to see them. A reverse Rana is impressive, and it does get a reaction. However, think about the move. Which professional wrestling moves are you most fascinated by where it's clearly the other guy has to do the move, has to cooperate to make it awesome? Who are you cheering for when that happens? Are you giving all the credit to the guy who says it's his move? Or are you giving credit to the guy who's making that move look awesome? Because if I take a reverse Rana, I'm dead, dude. Dead. But Bill Carr once gave me a Canadian Destroyer. I didn't move for 10 minutes. There's a certain value in making sure that all of your stuff registers with people, is sold properly, and that you're telling an appropriate story. I'm going to end here with part 1. We'll be back with part 2 later on this week, but I really wanted to get this message across, and I really wanted to talk to everybody. We're getting a little long here, and I don't like to do that, but I do want you to remember professional wrestling and why. Why are you cheering for what you cheer for? What makes something so great? Who are the ones that are doing it right, and who are the ones that are just following a broken pattern? Because you're going to remember the ones that are doing it right, and the ones that are following a broken pattern that's been set up before them need to learn, and they need someone to tell them how to do it right. And all of these companies have some of the best minds behind the scenes working. You need to listen. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back later on this week to the Grizzled VD podcast. It's absolutely, positively been your pleasure. Peace.